Fashion Industry Broadcast and Style Planet TV are proud to bring you their new Netflix original series, The Girl's Guides to the World of Designer Fashion. This new 6-part series explores the seductive world of designer fashion. Series 1, The History of Lingerie. Series 2, The Legend of the Designer Bag. Series 3, The Mystery of the High Heel. Series 4, American Fashion. Series 5, Italian Fashion. And Series 6, Paris Fashion.
Paraphernalia, and is the closest product to the bags produced by Hermès today. The company's iconic Duke carriage with horse logo and signature orange boxes were introduced in the 1950s.
The logo is derived from an Alfred de Drew painting, the name of which in English translates to hitched carriage waiting groom. As the title suggests, the work of art depicts a man in a top hat, i.e. the groom, waiting in front of an empty horse-drawn carriage. Hermès drew inspiration from this particular piece because of how well it encapsulated the company's origins as a saddlery manufacturer whilst also telling a story. The shape of the carriage and the fact that there are 2 horses signifies speed and efficiency. The way the harnesses fit the horses so perfectly alludes to Hermès' production of high-quality equestrian gear, and the well-dressed groom waiting with his hands in his pocket points to the fact that only one thing is missing: a passenger, or what Hermès would refer to as their customer. The empty horse-drawn carriage awaits a client in order to take him or her on a metaphorical journey into the world of Hermès.
The Verrou clutch bag was created in 1938 and it was closed by a silver bolt. And after Andy Warhol's muse Ultraviolet returned the one Andy Warhol once bought to her from Hermes, the house decided to produce a new version with a silver and palladium bolt. Hermès brought the now iconic Chaîne d'Oc bracelet in 1939. An ingenious use of capital H in an interlocking pattern, the design became a subtle signature for the house. In 1949, Hermès launched their new line of perfume, dubbed Eau d'Hermès.
It was created in 1951 by the nose Edmund Ranitzka. Now, how this came to be was the House of Hermès was interested in creating a perfume around 1951, and they contacted him, and he had just done diorama for Dior, and that was a fruity chypre, which is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So they were quite impressed, and they approached him about making their very first signature scent, their house scent. And this is for men and for women. That was something they wanted, something that is unisex, that can be worn by everyone. So he came up with this great, great scent. Now, it is a leather scent, and of course, that fits perfectly with the house. And what his inspiration was the inside of an Hermès leather bag. The essence of what one of those bags smells like when you first open it up. You get this great leather aroma. When the perfume first came out in 1951, it was sold only at their store in Paris, and each bottle of perfume, the bottle was especially created crystal bottle that was inspired, its shape was inspired by the old carriage lanterns, and even the modern bottle kind of has that shape of a carriage lantern with the black top, and it kind of comes down like this, like an old carriage lamp on either side of the carriages used to be. And this wonderful bottle was inscribed or etched into it the name of the perfume, and it then was presented in a beautiful, beautiful packaging, making it very, very special.
The fragrance and silk products were later to become some of the house's prime selling products.
In terms of ties and silk, the home of the Hermès silk since 1937 has been the city of Lyon. The first silk design Hermès created was actually not for a tie, but for a scarf. They're probably even more famous for women than the ties are for men, and they're typically in 70 centimeters by 70 centimeters. That very first pattern showed some women playing a game. The pattern was called Dame Blanche. In 1978, the fifth generation of family owners came in, and Jean-Louis Dumas became the chairman of Hermès as well as the creative director. Under his reign, Hermès switched to focus on silk products, leather goods, and ready-to-wear goods. Over the years, Hermès has produced thousands of designs, and they've become iconic and very recognized, and are worn by Wall Street bankers, London businessmen, Russian oligarchs, or emerging Chinese upper-class men. The tie production, especially for the printed ties, is vertically integrated. Hermès has their own silkworm plantations in southern Brazil, and from there they control the spinning of the yarn, the weaving of the yarn, the designs of the silk, the printing, as well as the sales all the way to the customer. All designs are exclusively designed for Hermès, and you can't find them elsewhere unless they're knockoffs, of course. Every season, 10 new ones are added, as well as old ones are reissued, and overall they've probably created more than 75,000 different color schemes. So between the designs and the colors, there's really a rich archive. Hermès is known for their printed ties, especially for their often whimsical animal print ties, for horse-inspired prints, as well as geometrical prints and small micro patterns. All of their ties are silk screen printed, which is an old way to do it. Back in the day, it was actually done with hand blocks. Today, that is not done anymore. Today they use screens, which are a lot more labor intensive and therefore more costly than digital printing.
Here, for example, we are seeing silk printing, which is made in the French region of Lyon, where we have more than 700 people working to make scarves, ties, and all these beautiful silk objects, silk accessories that are famous. And silk printing is a traditional way of printing the silk with screens, and you add on so many screens to make the final drawing, the final design. Mm-hmm. And it can take up to 45 or 46 screens.
Yes.
And each screen is putting one color, is letting go through one color.
Why is it so important for Hermès to maintain this level of the old-fashioned manufacturing?
You know, Hermès is about quality. And this quality is coming in a lot of our activities, like leather, like silk, like watches, is coming from very traditional know-how, which has been cultivated and loved at Hermès for a long time. And it's important for Hermès. The success of Hermès is really based on the combination of this traditional savoir-faire, this traditional know-how, and the strengths of the creativity and the strengths of creation, which makes Hermès also contemporary. So this tradition and modernity is really the essence of the success of Hermès.
In 1930, Hermès introduced a bag called the sac à dépêche that went largely unnoticed until 1955. This was the year that esteemed costume designer Edith Head received permission from director Alfred Hitchcock to purchase some Hermès accessories to style in the film To Catch a Thief. Edith Head paired the sac à dépêche with the film's character Frances, played by famous actress Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly allegedly fell in love with the bag and purchased one of her own. Then, 1 year later, Princess Grace Kelly was photographed carrying the bag in front of her stomach, seemingly hiding her previously undisclosed pregnancy. The image quickly spread across the globe, and the demand for the sac à dépêche, often referred to as the Grace Kelly bag, skyrocketed. In 1977, Hermès officially renamed the bag after the iconic actress, and that brings us to the modern-day commercial success of the Kelly.
What's remarkable about the Kelly bag is it's made in the same atelier as the Hermès saddles. They're created by hand using the double needle saddle stitch. This stitch cannot be replicated by machine, and if done correctly, will never unravel.
The Constance bag was created in 1959 by designer Catherine Shelley. She named the bag after her daughter Constance. With a H fastener and a clever adjustable strap, the bag can be worn over the shoulder or held by the side.
Hermès Birkin bags are some of the most expensive bags in the world. Ranging anywhere from $9,000 to $500,000, the bags embody absolute luxury.
A Birkin bag?
You've heard of it?
Of course. That's a very nice purse.
The story of the bag begins with its namesake, Jane Birkin. On a flight from Paris to London, the English actress happened to be seated next to the chief executive of Hermès, Jean-Louis Dumas.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Jane was known for carrying a wicker basket wherever she went, and used it for everything from groceries to diapers. When she tried to fit her famous basket in the overhead compartment, the lid came off, spilling the contents everywhere. Jane complained to her seatmate that it was impossible to find a weekend bag she liked. Dumas introduced himself as the head of Hermès, and the pair spent the flight sketching possible handbag designs on the back of an airplane sick bag. A year later, Dumas presented Jane with the Birkin bag, a spacious yet sophisticated leather design perfect for everyday use. The Birkin's pockets made it highly functional, and the bag's seals to prevent anything from spilling. Hermès makes the bags in France, using premium materials like calf skin, alligator skin, and even ostrich skin. Each bag is made entirely by hand. Although Birkins are one of the most exclusive and sought-after bags today, they actually weren't all that popular when they first launched. It wasn't until the 90s that the Birkin became one of the it bags of the era. Now, they're the ultimate status symbol.
I personally have seen a woman step into an elevator or walk into a room with a Birkin on her arm, and other women look. Who is she? Who is she married to? Is she a celebrity? Should I recognize her? But not anybody can buy a Birkin.
It's $4,000.
I know.
And there's a waiting list.
I assumed.
5 years.
For a bag?
It's not a bag. It's a Birkin.
Most people walk into Hermès and ask for a Birkin, and they're told that there is a waiting list. There's a 2-year waiting list. The waiting list is closed. We have a waiting list to get on the waiting list. For me as a businessman, the idea of the waiting list didn't cut it.
Samantha was never one for waiting in line, so she cut right to the front.
Oh, it's not for me. It's for Lucy Lou. He would be photographed to death. Does, that make a difference?
Let me get Francesca.
You cannot open a gossip or a fashion magazine without seeing a celebrity like Lindsay Lohan. It was all over the news for a week where her Birkin was stolen at Heathrow Airport with $1 million worth of jewelry in it. Martha Stewart being photographed walking into a trial where she's claiming that she has no money left, but she's carrying an $8,000 bag. I discovered a formula to get the bag. It basically involves buying enough non-Birkin items at Hermès, and then they would sell me the bag.
In 2010, Hermès launched the Petit H line of products with recycling and sustainably at its heart. And that was spearheaded by Pascal Moussard, the great-great-great-granddaughter of Thierry Hermès himself.
In Petit H, it's a completely different way to create than normally. None of the designers who come to Petit H, they must have an idea. If they have an idea in advance, I feel it. I want them to react towards the material, to keep all the material that Hermès doesn't use anymore, to imagine something that maybe Hermès didn't do.
Ici, c'est là où tout a commencé. C'est le début de mon projet. En fait, j'ai toujours appelé Caverne d'Ali Baba. C'est vraiment l'endroit où il y a tous mes petits trésors. Toute ma vie, ici chez Hermès, j'ai récupéré soit des matières qui ont un petit défaut, peut-être une petite rayure sur une pièce métallique, soit ce sont des prototypes qui n'ont aucun défaut, soit ça peut bien être aussi quelque chose qui n'a pas de défaut, mais qui est une fin de collection. Presque de façon aléatoire, toutes ces boîtes sont posées et puis tout d'un coup, on voit à côté l'un de l'autre et on se dit tiens, pourquoi on les associerait pas? Voilà, ça fait des histoires de famille, de métier, qui est vraiment le propos de Petit H, c'est essayer de marier les différents savoir-faire et essayer de marier les différentes matières. Mon idée, c'est de les anoblir, c'est de les sublimer, c'est de dire qu'il n'y a pas de matière indigne. Et c'est incroyablement stimulant, satisfaisant et joyeux.
This is a very nice object, very simple. It's from a letter. A young student who didn't even finish his school wrote me the most beautiful letter saying how he was inspired by Hermès and by Petit H. At the end of his letter, he said, I have an idea for you. I want to do a tag that you put on your luggage. And I said, well, great, thank you. I would love to meet you. And they came and they spent the whole day at the atelier. They selected a combination of leather. They completely changed their project and they finally designed animals. So we made our effort to be ready and to prepare. And I think it's very clever. And it can be as a bookmarks to show, to see, to recognize your luggage. More than that, it's the encounter that we have with these two students. I'm proud that they are here in New York today and I'm talking about them.
Ça, c'est mon endroit de prédilection. Vous voyez, ici, on a dû couper ce cuir et il reste ça. Et c'est comme une architecture, c'est comme un plan. Et c'est là où j'interviens, c'est là où je me dis, on va en faire quelque chose d'autre. Vous voyez, regardez. Je trouve que c'est presque une œuvre d'art. Voilà, ben c'est ça. Vous voyez, voilà. Ben ce soir, je pourrais sortir comme ça. C'est joli.
Everybody is thinking, what is the difference between artist and the crafts? I think I am right in the middle. There is no object without objective. An objective at Hermès, it's to stick to our roots, our values. We love objects. There must be an object that is stronger for your desire than for your reason.
As of 2014, Hermès operated 311 stores globally, out of which 207 were directly owned and operated by the company. In 2019, the brand was ranked the 33rd in the Forbes Most Valuable Brands list. The Parisian house is worth $72.6 billion according to Forbes 2020.
Creating the foundation was fulfilling my father's dream. He passed away in 2010, but in the mid-90s when I worked with him then, he told me one day he would set up a foundation for what he says in French, les métiers de la main, handcrafts. At that time, Hermès was really growing tremendously. The idea of caring for people, caring for employees, sharing the success has always been part of the family. I thought it was important to really create an institution to give a long-lasting perspective to philanthropy. Before setting up the foundation, by the way, the foundation we created is called, under French law, it's a company foundation. It's not a family foundation. It's a bit different. And I say this because we are 9,000 people at Hermès, and I keep telling everybody who works at Hermès, this is not the family's foundation, it is our foundation, everybody who works at Hermès. And so the foundation is there to, in a way, extend these values that are at the core of Hermès further. And before setting up the foundation, I worked for about 18 months with a small team trying to sit down and define what are these essential values we want to promote, we want to share. And it comes down to two words, which are for me fundamental. Fundamental for a family business, fundamental for Hermès, and fundamental for a foundation. And these two words are education and creativity. Or, in other words, transmission of knowledge, transmission of tradition. That's what education is about. And invention, innovation, creating. And so education and creativity in the field of craft. Because this is what we are craftsmen. One has to really dig into the past because the past is knowledge. And knowing your past, you can really reinvent the future. Creating the foundation, for example, was a way for me to continue the work of my forefathers, but bring it to another level. And I just try to live my day and age. I feel Hermès for me is a great opportunity to do good deeds. I think it's a beautiful house and it's a good family with great values.
A very strong and distinctive element of a Hermès brand strategy is the concept of collaboration. In the continuation of a strategy which was adopted by the first generation of the founding family, Hermès regularly invites artists who are carefully selected by senior Hermès artistic directors to design iconic products in the company's portfolio.
Je m'appelle Véronique Michagnan. J'adore passer du temps dans nos ateliers où je travaille main dans la main avec nos artisans. Nous explorons de nouvelles techniques, de nouveaux savoir-faire. Les créations Hermès ont une qualité et une sensualité intrinsèque grâce à la noblesse des matières, bien sûr, mais aussi et surtout grâce aux gestes et à la main de l'homme.
It seems like Hermès really fits you.
Yeah, I think it's. I feel extremely lucky and happy to work for Hermès because I don't think I could be a good designer for many other brands.
How does the system work out, or you guys work together? Or?
It's a very organic way of working because at Hermès it's not.
I'm helping you to do
dictatorship, it's every métier, as we call it, every style department is independent. So it works like a family, really. So sometimes a little bit messy.
It can be messy.
A bit organic, I would say, but it's interesting because it also liberates, and I very much believe in the teamwork. I don't believe one person is always right on everything. That's not true.
The company's collaborations with brands outside the Hermès brand portfolio are consistently in the ultra-luxury space, including Jean Loeb shoes and boots, Purificat tableware, and dinnerware and Saint Louis glassware. In 2014, the company's new launches across different product categories, including the Oxford bag, the Nautilus pen, the Faubourg watch, the third Haute Bijouterie collection, the Le Parfum de la Maison, the H Deco tea and dessert service, and the lighting collection. As well as in 2015, continuing with its tradition of offering something new and expanding the definition of luxury. Hermès collaborated with Apple in a new collection of Apple Watch Hermès. The new collection has been categorized as a truly collaborative effort, with each watch engraved with the Hermès signature, typeface, customizable to the famous Hermès orange, and its 3 exclusive dials paying respect to Hermès watch face designs. Hermès is shown ingenuity in leveraging the power of social media. There are 2 apps it has developed. One is called Silk Knots, which is essentially a how-to guide that teaches how to tie the brand's scarves in 24 different ways. The second one is called Tie Break and is aimed at men and contains a variety of gifts, games, comics, and interesting nuggets of information on Hermès collection. It also launched a new menswear website called Le Manifeste d'Hermès, which aims to act as a guide for men's styling needs. GQ magazine termed the website as having the ability to revolutionize e-commerce. Famous clients of Hermès include Madonna, Elle Macpherson, Kim Kardashian, Victoria Beckham, Nicole Kidman, and Julianne Moore. But no single family in the world seems to be as obsessed with designer handbags as the Kardashians.
My favorite row definitely would have to be the Hermès row, and I have been collecting these bags for a minute. They're also a great investment.
With so many wondrous stories and such an illustrious past, Hermès conjures up a story that many other fashion houses just can't even begin to compete alongside. The company has successfully kept alive and strengthened a brand differentiated through strong history, exquisite craftsmanship, and superior quality. The fact that the stunning bags they create remain so prized is testament to the fashion house's design brilliance and luxurious quality. The fact that it is considered to be the most innovative of all the luxury fashion houses is testament to the company's commitment to constantly manufacture and launch ultra-luxury products that are unique, have a strong sense of allure, and have a distinct mark of a superior craftsmanship. The company's future looks secure, but Hermès needs to constantly evolve and differentiate to maintain its superior position in the ultra-luxury segment of the market through leveraging the power of its family brand as an icon of its legacy, authenticity, and prestige.